Hello and welcome back to another episode of Midnight Mayhem. Today we're going to be talking about Smile 2. Before we get into it, sponsored by Voss.
Not really.
Not really. Don't sue us.
Yeah, please.
This is defamation, technically. Before we get into it, let's go ahead and start off with our introductions.
I'm Bobby and I love horror.
I'm Leo and I love movies.
And I'm Raymond, the other guy. So, Leo.
Yes, sir.
You gave me quite a lot of things to talk about this movie today.
So I saw this movie in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was extremely hyped when I saw it in theaters. Obviously coming from like the hype of the first Smile. First time watching it in theaters. I mean, I told you guys my opinion on it. I was like, I mean, for a film, it was pretty good film, right? But for like a Smile sequel, it didn't live up to like the hype I was hoping for. Second time around, though, I think I enjoyed it a lot more than the first time.
Yeah. What did you think?
And that's for me. I watched it twice. You guys, This is your first time watching it.
I think it's exactly what I was afraid of if they made a sequel to It Follows. Where I was like, you have already taken, like, you already know the concept of the monster.
Yeah.
So, like, now you have to either just have a lot of fun with it and then just hope it works or
re-explain the first movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of interesting because this is your rewatch.
Uh-huh.
I knew a little bit about the movie, and then I watched it, and you went in completely blind.
Yeah.
First time I watched it.
And I also love horror, so like, that's a good amount of
I'm Bobby and I love horror.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he says that. I didn't know.
Yeah, so I was very much like, I digged a lot of the movie, but I was just like, I
struggled to finish it.
It's long.
It's extremely long.
I don't know if I was.
I think it might be longer than the first one, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I was just not in the mood to watch a movie. Because I saw certain scenes. I was like, oh, that's cool. This is boring. I'm bored. I want to leave.
Now, I can put a lot of pros and cons into the movie. Mostly pros, to be honest with you. I had to cram this in just between like watching the baby and doing my day-to-day life.
Voss is pretty good.
Voss is delicious. So I was like, I need to watch it first thing in the morning before my baby wakes up.
Yeah.
Like I got I didn't.
Same thing. I was like, I have to watch this movie for the podcast. I was like, I don't want to watch with the baby because
traumatized
it's
the
a lot
baby.
of it's a lot of visuals.
Watch it, man.
It's not like Hereditary where it's like, oh, it's the emotional aspect that's scary. No, it's like you just see horrifying things in this.
Yeah.
More jump scares than there should have been, in my opinion.
In my opinion, a lot of lame jump scares.
They're bad.
Pretty bad.
There was like 2 good ones off just top of my head.
There was. It's because for me, like, I don't know. There was a lot of like ones that were reused from the first movie. You know, like for example, that one jump scare where she's like on her phone scrolling, and the face next to her, just like the first movie. She's listening to the computer. It's like she puts the volume up, and boom, the face next to her. It's like it's the same jump scare. You know.
But they like overdid it this time around.
They did overdo it. Yeah.
But let's get into the movie real quick, and then we'll go into a little bit more of the story. So, about to embark on a new world tour, global pop sensation Sky Riley begins to experience increasingly terrifying and unexplainable events. Overwhelmed by the escalating horrors and pressure of fame, she must face her dark past to regain control of her life before it spirals out of control.
Making, the pop filter right now.
ASMR videos.
All right, so what do you want to start from?
See what all the hype is about.
Do you want to start from the recommendation part? Or you tell me.
So, Smile 2 was directed by Parker Phil. Again, he was his only notable.
I feel like he was in another movie that we saw, right?
Who?
The
Parker.
Director.
Yeah. He did Smile. And Laura Hasn't Slept.
I haven't seen Laura Hasn't Slept.
It's the prequel to Smile.
It's a short film.
It's a short film.
It's a short film.
That's cool. No, I didn't know that.
It's based.
I didn't see it. You guys didn't show it to me after.
Where were you in the first episode, man?
Not the recent episode. No,
it's just Ivan. Like, hey, I'm Bobby.
He's wearing a wig.
Shaved his head.
It's just glasses.
Yeah. He's like, I guess that does look like him. It stars Naomi Scott, who I know her from the remake, the live-action Aladdin with Will Smith. She was also in Power Rangers in 2017.
Great movie.
Also stars.
Oh, was she Jasmine?
Yeah, she was Jasmine.
Oh yeah, I was like, she has amazing vocals.
Yeah, she does.
I blew me
she's
out of the water.
She's also a singer in real life too.
No, I was like, who is this?
Also stars Ray Nicholas, which is son of Jack Nicholas.
Nicholson.
Nicholson.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I couldn't really find any notable credits that he had. So
He's had a couple of
minor
Is that
roles.
his
very minor
son?
roles.
That's
Yeah,
his son.
That's his son.
And he was
He was
Paul
Hudson.
The boyfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only person I could think of that he would have been.
Yeah. I don't want to say Nepo baby, but I don't. His credits are super high up for considering the small role he had in this film,
Okay.
It's just.
and he was also used for the poster.
He was. Yeah, he was actually like one of the biggest like promotional posters
Yeah.
too.
Also stars Lucas Gage. He was more recently in the film Companion, which released this year, 2025. That's with what's the guy who plays? He's from The Boys.
Oh, A-Train.
No,
No, that's from the first movie.
that's the
What?
he plays Huey from The
okay.
Boys.
Oi, oi, oi.
Oh, Huey.
I'm never good with actors' names, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully.
he's a companion. So that was her high school friend who was he got pretty early on.
All right.
But real quick, let's go into ratings.
Mm-hmm. All right. So first time watching it, I gave it a rating of like I saw it a solid 7.9, like 7.5. You know, I loved it as a film. Like it was beautiful as a film. Like cinematography again, great as always. Like the film shots amazing. You know, everything on the dot. Cheers, guys. Cheers. There we go. There you go.
You could hear how crystal clear this water is.
This is the pH level.
I can see the
Here,
hydration on
let's
this pour.
let's tap for the glass sound effect. Ready? And go. There you go.
And throw it on the ground. Just hear glass shatter.
Editing wise, it's so loud you can't. So, what did you end up re-rating it?
So second time around, I give it a solid an 8. I would
An
give it an 8. Yeah.
Alright.
What's yours?
6.
6. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That
And
is
then
pretty crazy.
I was not having a good time.
That is pretty crazy.
Because the thing is, it's funny because
I thought for
I was
sure you would have
watching I was
higher
watching the
rating.
movie, and I was like, on a technical standpoint, this movie is really good. It is not keeping my attention at all.
Right.
There were so many one shots
Oh.
in the movie.
yeah, there's a lot of cool
Yeah,
ones.
we're
And
gonna talk about that.
we'll talk about one later.
The good
but,
one. The
but
good
there's one that's a one take,
one.
and I thought they were gonna do a recall on that, like a callback.
To which what?
The
I'll,
first
I'll
film?
talk about it.
Alright,
No,
alright.
that's the first film. There was a scene in the film where they're doing a one shot
Right.
between two characters,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in a car, and then there's another scene
Okay, I
where
know which one.
they're in a car and they're talking to each other. And
All
I
right,
was
we'll
like,
talk
oh,
about it later.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to understand, but I can't.
How's
go
that be
on
the
We'll talk about it next
perfect
week.
time to redo
Next
it.
week.
I'm
Next
all
week.
tired. 8, solid 8.
Solid
Eight
8.
as
Solid
well?
8. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just
I'm
I
glad.
was
I'm glad
watching
you
it.
give.
I
I'm
don't
glad you
I
give it
don't
an
know
8.
if I just
I'm glad
wasn't
you
in
give
a
it
mood
an
to
8.
watch a
Oh,
movie.
yeah, it was a good
today.
movie.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't keeping my attention. I had to stop about an hour 20 minutes in,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I'll finish the last like 30
It's
minutes
because
later.
I told you. Remember, that was one of my complaints the first time around. I was like, in the first movie, it just takes off running, and then she's like, okay, something's going on. I think it's a monster. There's a demon. She starts investigating, and it just picks up right away.
Yeah.
In this one, it's not until like an hour in that she's like, there might be something going
Something's
on.
wrong.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Doctor, I need a
the
new
whole
brain.
time, he's like, oh, I think it's just stress. For like the first hour, the first solid hour, he's like, I think I'm just having like withdrawal, or it's just stress or something. You know.
A lot of segments with this movie made it feel more mainstream, even though it was
felt
more gory.
too polished.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
everything felt too clean. Like everything just felt
but I'm like,
like it didn't seem real enough.
well, I remember when I talked about Smile, I was like, people were telling me that they didn't like the movie, and I was like, really? Like, I thought it was an amazing movie.
It's
And it was because of those quiet character moments
Mm-hmm.
that I was just like, oh, those are phenomenal.
The suspense was really good. I feel like there were some suspenseful moments in this
but
movie, but
this-
they were too short lived.
Yeah, exactly. This movie does that, tones down the slow pacing or like the quiet moments, and it makes all the big jump scare like. So that's why I feel like it definitely feels more mainstream, and I do place Smile higher than this overall.
Yeah.
But
I
because
think
as
I
a
do
first
too,
film,
yeah, I
as
do
a
too.
side by side, first Smile was great.
But,
But I can see a lot of people liking
But
this one way
here's
more
the thing: when
because it's really entertaining.
when we saw the first Smile, we had no expectations. We were like, let's see how.
Oh no, I
let's see
had
this movie.
below to the ground.
Me too. Me too. I had zero
Underwater
expectations. I had zero expectations. When I saw it, I was like,
Oh, just a rip
it,
off of
it
like.
blew my mind. You know.
Yeah.
So when this one came out, I had high expectations. I tried to put them low, but it's hard. It's hard, you know. So when
because the first movie was so good.
it's not like it was amazing, but
Yeah.
I think it's just because our expectation was so low. I think we like to put it that it was so good, because
Like when your
Yeah.
when your expectations are low, they're easier to meet.
I like Smile more, the first movie more now from watching additional horrors. Like after we watched It Follows, I was like, man, I just love Smile way more now.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Because it feels
I mean,
like that. I'm sure you noticed in this movie, but there's some of the sounds, the music.
yeah.
It's clearly inspired by the first film, and the first film's clearly inspired by It Follows.
Yeah.
Did you notice it?
Yeah.
Like-
Well, let me. So real quick, just to compare our ratings.
Sure.
So the IMDb for this film was 6.8 out of 10,
Okay, right
which
in
is
the
pretty
middle.
close to my rating.
Fucking I got critic over here.
That's IMDb, all right. And then Rotten
Alright.
Tomatoes,
Yeah.
specifically the critic meter, was 86%,
Oh shit.
which is closer. So
Yeah, I felt
who's the
like-
critic
All
now?
right, bro.
I miss
Fucking-
I love movies. Okay.
IMDb.
No, I
over
definitely
here.
felt like other people would enjoy this movie more than I did.
Yeah.
Probably other people would say that the first Smile wasn't as good as this. That's what I'm
I
getting
feel
at.
like the people who say that are like, oh well, it was too slow, and it's like, yeah, like it was intentional. This one, I feel like they heard that
man.
complaint.
TikTok brains.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
I think they got that complaint, and they go, oh, like we need more scares.
Yeah, and that's what
we
it.
need more of this, more of that.
That's why this movie was like more of a spectacle, way more
Yeah,
of a
yeah,
spectacle, and
definitely.
it has a lot of like big moments. It has a lot of like kind of artsy moments too.
Yeah.
I was like, it's entertaining. I'll give it that. That's why I was like, I can't say this is a bad movie.
But
It's-
between the score and the soundtrack, because I thought the score was really good,
Yeah, it was
The
good.
score was good.
and then the soundtrack, Naomi Scott is a very talented singer. It just felt like generic pop.
No, to
me at least.
Yeah, no, I felt the same
I
way.
felt like a legit song.
No,
was
no,
like,
no.
oh,
it is a
So a
legit
couple of
song,
both.
and I-
A couple of both. I felt like it was a legit song, but I did feel like it was like the songs went up for a little too long. I'm like,
I
are they
do agree
actually
with that.
promoting like a song?
I was
Song?
like,
Like, it felt like
is this a music video?
yeah,
No,
because there's
yeah.
certain parts where like
It's not like Trapped where it's
Yeah.
like M Night trying to promote his daughter. but
exactly.
It's, like,
No, no.
it's literally like this. It
Hey,
feels like
look,
an ad
M
for
Night.
music.
He didn't mean that. Okay, like you're still invited to the podcast.
Mike,
like don't,
Mike,
don't,
yeah, you're still
don't
coming
listen
next
to him.
Tuesday.
Okay. All right.
No, I don't. I hate music video sequences.
And Mike, if you can hear this,
I hate music video sequences in horror
Right,
movies.
yeah.
At least if they run too long. And it was getting to that point where I was like, I am getting kind of fed up with this. But I was like,
Right.
this is actually a good song, so I don't mind.
yeah.
The last thing that
Uh-huh.
happened with was VHS Beyond. When we,
that was a full on music. Video.
yeah, I know. That's the
Yeah,
last. That's
yeah.
the last time as soon as the segment started, I just thought of that movie, and I was like, this better not run
That's
too
true.
long.
Yeah. No, and
This
it
better build to something
But
happening.
here's the
which it
thing:
did.
when she's like, what's it called?
I didn't think about it.
Rehearsing the music video, like they
Oh,
it
the
was like-
rehearsal was amazing.
how it was like 5 minutes long, and I remember watching that video. And I was watching that part. I was remember thinking, I was like, did the director just did this long just to show how good of a choreography like he can
Oh.
do with the people, which
No,
was
I
amazing, which
like,
was
the
good.
choreography was amazing.
Which was
The-
good. I was like, wow, they actually put a lot of effort into this, and like, it's pretty much like he's all like, look what I can do with this. You know what I mean? Which
This
is
This
cool.
is his profile.
Which is
he's
cool.
He's trying to branch out to do.
And
direct music
I
and
videos.
thought
of,
it was awesome,
and of
though.
course,
I
and
thought
of
it was
course,
cool.
like obviously, like it's to distract you as well, because like in that scene, there's also that jump scare too. What was the jump scare? I forgot.
not in that choreography scene.
The long one.
The first one. So they're talking about the one where they're all dressed in like sweatsuits and they're like
they're
dancing.
spinning around.
Not the sweatsuit, not the one in the ballerina room. No, I'm talking about like the actual stage rehearsal.
The actual
Oh, so
stage
that's
rehearsal.
that's a full
that's
on
a
like.
different
that's the
one.
that's the
That's-
full on rehearsal, like the
that-
full on music video.
Okay,
So
yeah,
that
that's what I
one,
felt like a music
the
video.
jump
Yeah.
scare was her leg.
Oh, it breaks or some shit like
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
breaks and then she also sees something for like a second. I forget what it was.
I think it was just her leg.
Oh, it was the boyfriend, I think, was it right?
No, it
No?
wasn't a boyfriend. It was something random. It was something just like
I think she just falls and she sees her leg like snaps.
It's
And then
broken,
she's
yeah.
screaming
She
about
starts
it.
screaming,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "My leg," and they're like you good?
yeah.
And she
Yeah.
starts lashing out at the dancer. She's like, "It was one of you guys. Like one of you guys pushed me."
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, "Nah."
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she's
So-
thrown off.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, it kind of went for too long because, like I said, like the director's trying to distract you to kind of like get into the music video, which you kind of do, but at the same time, I thought it was a little cheesy, because I'm like, they're trying to do like, hey, look, we made a music video and look how good it is. Like
Yeah.
we made music for this song and
we made a
we spent
movie
so
around
much
this music
effort
video.
on it, so you got to listen to it. You got to listen to the whole thing.
It's a 2-hour movie that I've, like, could have had some minor moments cut. Very much this movie has like segment, setup, scare, but they're not as obvious because the creature in this movie does not make anything obvious. But I was able to call the ending pretty early on, so I was like, this has to be entertaining in order for it to just be enjoyable.
Yeah.
So the fact that you didn't think it was entertaining, I would be suffering if I didn't find it to be entertaining.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, no, I was.
I
passing
did
out,
find it entertaining.
Yeah,
That's what I
me
was
too,
like.
me too.
But are we gonna hop into spoilers more?
yeah,
or-
we're gonna hop into spoilers right now.
I wanna give that warning before we
so
do it.
spoiler warning: if you guys haven't seen the movie, if you guys do feel like checking it out, feel free. We saw it on
Paramount Plus. That's where
Paramount
I saw it.
Plus. There's available on a couple other streaming services, none of which are free. So if you want to watch this movie but you don't want to pay, I do think it's worth waiting it out until you can watch it for free.
If you get a chance to see it, I mean, watch it.
Yeah.
At least I
You
give
got a
it that
buddy
much.
who has it on Blu-ray, sure. But don't go out buying this. In my opinion, at least, I didn't give it an 8.
My neighbor sold it to me
So,
on Blu-ray.
Yeah. It said smile. It's just it's a picture of the Nirvana cover.
It's a picture of
That's
Watchmen.
All right, so we're gonna talk about some further story details. I will start off where any good story starts off, at the beginning.
Yeah.
Joel's back,
I super enjoyed that.
not for long, but
yeah.
he's back.
No, actually, I got a good gasp moment in
Yeah,
that.
you're
No. I'm saying because we're in spoilers,
That-
so
Yeah.
Flash has to step out.
Yeah.
When he got smacked by that car,
Yeah.
I visible.
Yeah, I know.
You
No,
clutched your pearls,
that
like,
whole entire
Segment
opening
was
scene,
great.
the whole entire opening segment, I thought I was 100% in. I was like, I'm in. This is a fucking sequel. This is how you fucking do it.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I was hyped because that when he's walking by and you see that the what's her name
Rose.
Rose
just
on fire.
burning.
Yeah,
I was
and
like,
what's funny is
"Woo!"
like, who knows how long he's been seeing these visions because he just ignores it. He just
Yeah.
walks.
No, yeah, he
she's
knows,
all like,
yeah.
it's so funny because I kind of picture me like, hey, what are you doing? What the hell? Like,
I'm
she's
on
just,
fire,
yeah,
dude.
she's like,
So,
Remember when we dated?
So I love that. I love that
Yeah.
segment. And
yeah.
then I thought the story was gonna go somewhere completely different because he's like, I'm sorry, like I have to go, and I was like, oh,
But
is
he-
it like,
yeah, so basically 6 days after Rose Carter's death, so he now has the curse. Nobody lasts more than a week, so this is basically his last chance to do anything.
Yep.
and at this point,
He goes after like a gang
scumbags.
Yeah, scumbags
Yeah.
basically, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna kill you in front of your brother. He'll have it, and I don't have to deal with it, and I'm not passing it to someone who doesn't deserve it.
Right.
So in case you didn't watch the movies for some reason, this demon or entity can only pass through trauma. So you have to make someone experience, basically see a death in front of them in order to pass it. So he knew all this information because of Rose in the first movie.
Yeah,
Right.
they did all the
Yes.
explanation prior.
So if you didn't watch the previous movie, you're just like, imagine not watching the first movie and jumping into this, like, what?
What the? I know. Like, what the
That's fair.
hell am I
'Cause
watching?
I would say this movie it re-explains a lot of stuff,
Yes.
but that opening scene would make zero sense.
And then
I know.
the
Yeah.
explanation isn't until like an hour and a half in.
right.
And it's very much an info dump, which is one of those things where I was like, okay.
Yeah,
And then
he's
I
like,
was-
conveniently, I have all this information you need to know about the demon.
yeah, I was like,
because
this
we
is-
realized we went an hour and a half into this movie and didn't explain it to first-time watchers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, that kind of sucks unless they don't explain why. And then she's like, why would you do this? I was like, okay, God, good.
But
that
that-
was important.
That long shot though,
Yeah, okay,
beautiful.
which long shot?
The
do
whole-
you-
Beautiful,
the whole
dude.
Opening sequence is a one take.
One take.
I didn't notice.
One take,
Oh.
dude. Like from
It was
beginning
great.
till end.
That open scene's
So
awesome.
him sitting in the car,
Yeah.
getting out of the car, going to the
Walking,
house,
yes.
stabbing the guy, the shootout, him running.
Getting
that was
run
all
over.
one take.
Yeah,
Boom.
I didn't notice for some reason.
The back, but the
I
behind
just
the
know that
scenes,
scene was
dude,
amazing.
the behind the scenes is so fucking cool. Like it just shows the camera guy just walking behind Joel, then getting the house, and over here, camera over here. When he jumps out of the fucking window, Joel jumps out of the wall. I mean, out of the window. It's fucking awesome. Like it's like this is how you
so
do a
then all the
fucking
way
long
to the where
shot.
who gets hit by the car then?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Damn.
rewatch it if you can.
No, I
just-
will because
yeah,
I
it's-
love that scene. That was like that was
Yeah.
awesome.
It was beautiful.
I
Beautiful.
was trying not to make it my favorite scene just because I was like I feel like there's
It
a lot
was
of
really
moments.
hard because for the longest time, like I started thinking about that. I was like, this is gonna be my favorite scene. Like it has to be my favorite scene.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like how many times have I said, "Oh, the opening scene's my favorite scene," like because
Yeah.
it sets the tone. This one kind of didn't. I would say. I mean, it was
it
felt like a sequel.
It made me feel like the
Yeah,
movie was going to
yeah.
be better than it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's how I felt too. That's
fun fact.
yeah.
Joel is the only returning cast member for the sequel.
Yeah.
And he gets murked in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unfortunate.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Would you have preferred, and this is just for curiosity's sake or what if scenario, just the movie to have been his just him?
I think he was a more interesting character than Sky.
Sure, but I feel like it would have been too easy because he would have been like from the beginning of the movie, he would have been like, all right, this is my plan and this is how it goes, instead of being like, all right, we have a brand new character who you're going to go through her trauma, her suffering,
Yeah, but
all of
I
this.
think
You know what I mean?
that would be better to add to the psychological aspect of the movie. Because
Sure,
what I was
sure,
thinking
I
is,
guess.
it's basically like, oh, like you don't know how long it's been and this and that.
Yeah.
And I was like, they could have used that to their advantage because she's a pop star. She's very busy. Like they could have had her do like 6 shoots or whatever. And you're like, damn, like I wonder how long it's been or whatever. Right. But all these scenes would be taking place indoors in wherever you would do a shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'd be like, yeah, like, oh, that was a busy day. And it's like, that was one day. Like that was one day. Like that, I think that would have been good because it would have warped your sense of time a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I want to say maybe about 50 minutes into the movie, they're like, oh, like, it's been 3 days. And I was just like, yeah, it feels like it's been 3 days.
I was
Yeah.
counting the nights while I was watching the movie.
Yeah.
So I already knew what day it was from
Did
that
you
long.
guys get confused in the very beginning where like obviously when he gets hit by a car and then it kind of transitions to like the interview of like a fucking Drew Barrymore talking to the pop stars like,
That
so how
caught
do
me
you
off
feel
guard.
after the accident? You're like, oh, that's the trauma. She hit him with her car, right? You guys thought about that, right?
I think we all had that thought process
Yeah.
at some point.
Because he was literally like, this wasn't meant for you. Like, I'm sorry. And he like left.
Oh yeah, but we don't know how much time has passed.
Yeah, we didn't know. Yeah, exactly.
There was no like title card to say like, oh, it's been a month or whatever. Because
No, and that's when I got confused I was confused for the longest time because
I
she
did
was in
exactly
the
what he did.
hospital. Yeah, she was in the hospital for like a while, then she recovered and like she stopped her career for a while, like her
Yes.
music career
For 1 year.
for 1 year. And I was like, wait a fucking second. So she has a whole year, and I was like, then she hasn't experienced any of that. So for like the longest time, I was confused up until she.
What if she got the
obviously-
demon and then she got amnesia right after?
Dun, dun, dun. No,
And
I
then
feel
she
like-
got her memories back.
No,
We would've-
but
we would've
no,
reminded her.
hold on, but that doesn't make sense though.
Well, I know what you're saying because
You know
I
what
thought
I'm
the
saying,
same thing.
right?
So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, when she first talks about the accident because of how it was shot, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she might have hit him. She might have been involved in the accident, but the demon is with the dude who saw the accident.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So for all I know, it's just running rampage this whole time until it's gonna come back to her and it's gonna like catch up with
Yeah.
her.
But no, it's actually
But
like
it's just
her being in the
nothing to do
hospital.
with
Yeah,
each
her
other,
being in the
yeah.
hospital was like happened way before that accident. So
Yeah.
I kind of pieced that together,
But-
like probably like halfway into the movie.
As
I was
I
like,
got-
wait a
I
second.
got it right away. I
No,
Really?
I got it after they finished talking, and then once we saw obviously the drug dealer.
The drug
I
dealer.
was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, it's the same guy. Okay, this is
Yeah,
that accident
yeah,
happened like a year
exactly.
ago. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything clicked at that point. But I was very much like, oh, what's going on? What's happening?
Mhm.
Also, fun fact: did you guys see the GameCube under the TV?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I did.
You're really out of the movie because
Yeah.
I know.
there was a GameCube in the bottom left of the corner. I was like, oh, cousin's gonna
Yeah, it was
appreciate
cool.
that.
It was awesome.
And then also that TV screen was the drug dealer's TV screen. So
Oh, he
it's
just
him.
took it?
No, it's him watching the interview on TV.
Oh, he was watching the interview.
He's watching the interview, and then he texts her.
Oh.
Or she texts him, and he does the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Because when you go into his apartment later on, you see the
Oh, that drug dealer. I thought you were talking about the first guy.
No,
that
no,
was
no,
like-
no,
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 no, no, no,
I was like, he stole it
The
from
drug
him?
dealer.
Like-
No.
no, the one that she got to try to get Vicodin from.
Yeah.
Also, I felt bad for the whole
Louis Fragoli.
Yeah, Louis
Fragoli.
Fragoli. No, I felt bad that it was like it wasn't even a Vicodin addiction. It was literally like just
Pains.
pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
And I
pain.
can relate to that. I think we all can at some point. It's like
Once
Bobby
you hit
has
30, you
Bobby
understand.
has an addiction that he hasn't overcome,
Yeah,
but
this
he
is
will
actually-
soon. He
this
will
podcast
soon.
is
oh,
actually
loving
the-
my baby.
It's called. This is all
It's
staged.
adorable.
We don't actually have a podcast. This is all an intervention to talk about your addictions.
You guys aren't actually here. I've just been talking to myself.
Yeah, exactly. Look,
Just
look,
all three
look at the
voices.
replays. It's just you talking by yourself.
The no, yeah. So I liked all that setup. But go ahead. I'll let you guys keep going. So, yes, I did get confused for a second.
Yeah,
And then
it
once
was
got uncovered-
it was confusing for like a while for me, but yeah, once everything kicks off, I was like, okay, so this is how the story plays out. What did you guys think of the effects? Like the
Some of them I really liked,
Mhm.
and some of them I thought were just bad CG.
Like which ones? Which ones, for example?
So the first kill where he smashes his face in with the nameplate.
First kill.
I was
okay.
like, oh, I feel like they're not going to show it, and then they showed it, and like when his jaw starts like peeling off,
I thought that was
looks,
cool.
That looks nice.
I thought, yeah, that
then
was
there's
cool.
a part where her mom stabs herself.
That
and
one
it
was
looked
goofy.
really bad.
Yeah, that one was goofy.
And then there's a part where she's laying on the ground, and it looks like CG and not like a practical puppet. And then when they go back to the body, I was like, okay, this is actual.
Yeah, you can see
this is
Yeah,
actual.
yeah,
You can see the difference
Yeah.
because they used the practical later. I saw that one.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice the one because it was such a dark scene. Like maybe I just didn't catch it as like being. CG.
I was just trying to latch onto something to to enjoy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, that was nice, you know.
kind of
Yeah.
jumping around here, but did you guys?
No, I hated it. You're
I,
talking about the monster, the demon.
Not yet, not
Okay.
yet, because
you talking about the
I
finale?
have. Hold on, relax,
Wait.
chill out. I have
We're
a
not
lot.
there
I
yet,
have a
but-
lot to say about that too, but no, not yet. Did you guys catch the reference to Perfect Blue?
Which one?
Think about
Tell
it.
me.
I'm pretty sure. Like I haven't seen anything about it, but I'm pretty sure that was a solid reference to Perfect
Oh,
Blue.
you're talking about the stalker?
The stalker.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah,
Like him being. I mean, he looked almost exactly like that stalker too.
actually, you
They-
reminded me about one of my favorite seasons.
Right?
They-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say stalker, but he had like one interaction with her.
I know.
I
know.
think it would have done more justice to the movie if he was in her house.
Yeah.
Because then it's like,
I really
oh,
thought
is
it
she-
was happening.
Like, is she going crazy or like
Well,
is she
the-
in legitimate
But
danger?
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, it's like later on in the movie, you kind of find out that it's like, wait, what the fuck? What the hell was real? What the hell was fake? You know? Because that's
yeah, but I feel like that would have subverted the audience expectations because it's like, oh, I know she's gonna start hallucinating and stuff.
I just
like if that was real,
yeah.
and her friend was
yeah.
like,
That big-
oh, like
yeah.
That big reveal hurt the movie for me a lot.
It did for me
made
too. It did
made
for
a
me
fun,
too.
like, oh, when did she kind of start losing it even more?
Yeah.
But I was like, how much of this was just?
I know how
bad?
much of this
Yeah.
was just bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's very much the last thought I had. When
Same with me. Same with me. Like after all that shit went down, you know, crazy this. Like I was like,
it made sense.
hold
but
on.
I was
To
just
what
like-
point was it real?
Now,
you know?
that's one of my questions for you guys. Is at what moment do you? Because if you didn't see the movie at this point, we've already spoiled everything.
Mm-hmm.
But big reveal, everything. A good majority of the movie's in her head. And so, at what point do you think she was completely manipulated by him?
I think up until
Because there's so many parts where she could have been, and that was a fun little game I had after the movie where I was
Yeah.
like, "What part was it?"
I
I'll
think
tell you mine after. You guys.
right after she sends the text out to her friend. I think after all that,
Gemma.
Gemma. I think after all that, that's all like in her head. I feel
Okay.
like.
When do you think it was?
well, like logically, it would be before. It would be after she called, not sent the text, or like because she's like, oh, like what's with all these weird text messages you sent me?
Yeah.
But like she like legitimately called her because the real Gemma was like, hey, like I missed your call. I know it's
yeah.
been like 5 days, but like
I
Well,
don't know.
logically, yeah, I didn't think of it that way. But my moment was when she's in the mirror and she's looking at herself and she sees,
I'm standing behind her.
and then they do that whole like fake smile like around her mouth.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it could have been that moment, or like at that point she had most of the control because she wore that outfit in the ending shot, and I was
True.
like,
That's
and
true.
right after that scene is where she was like, I'm not gonna wear this. Like there's no reason I would wear this.
That's a good
But
theory.
I was like-
it could be a good theory.
But no, I was just like, man, that's kind of fun to do. Well, like a little side
I
gig.
mean, a little
out there, yes.
a little into the fun facts, but a lot of people where they think that she lost control like completely
Oh,
was
okay, cool.
during the choreographed scene
The
where
dance.
she's in her apartment and all those people are in her house and start chasing around.
I mean,
her
that would
apartment,
make the most sense.
and
Yeah.
you see the hand go into her throat.
oh
They're
yeah.
like from that point on, none of the decisions
things were real.
were ever hers.
Okay, because there's two things with that, and just coincidentally. Okay, so then, do you think she ever interacted with the guy, the brother, that was like telling her, the brother of the 8th victim or whatever?
Right. I don't, because here's the thing. I thought it was an actual
That
interaction,
seemed-
I like to think so because there's another thing on there as well, but
but then again, nobody was interacting with that guy.
nobody was interacting with him, but that would make all of his scenes pointless.
Yeah, that's also why. I
Well,
didn't
yeah,
like it.
the whole third act, like after they show that, it's like that just made the entire like
Yeah, it
third
makes
act
the third
pointless.
act completely pointless.
Yeah.
until the
Yeah,
finale.
exactly.
For the finale.
So it doesn't matter if he was real or not. Like it's like they just
So the thing is, they think he was real, and they think all of the phone calls she was receiving were
Uh-huh.
fake.
Yeah.
So-
but
so-
then the text message was real.
No,
The unknown called texts.
he was texting her, so that was real.
Okay.
And when they meet up originally at the bar, and he's talking to her, she keeps getting messages like her mom, her PR team.
Yeah, I had a
all that
feeling
stuff.
those were fake.
So
Right.
those are all fake. They're basically saying because he wasn't reacting to the phone ringing.
yeah,
So they were like
that.
he was real, but the demon was trying to distract her from the conversation by trying to get her to answer the phone.
Okay.
So I like to think it was real up until a point.
My friend that I watched it with also agreed that it was like probably that moment.
But like I think the second interaction that they have at the Pizza Hut, I don't think that was real.
I don't think so.
No,
either.
yeah,
it
that
was-
was completely
Yeah.
in their
Yeah.
head. Yes, I agree with that.
So we didn't talk about this, but what's your favorite scene in the movie?
I've been torn for a lot of it. Like I said, I don't want to make it the opening scene because I feel like that's just kind of an obvious
I
easy
want
answer.
to make it the opening scene.
I did like the finale scene, but I didn't love it. I'll let you guys. I've been thinking about it all day since I watched the movie, so I'm gonna keep thinking about it. It definitely isn't that little dance choreography possession scene. That was cool, but
Yeah.
silly.
I saw that. I
I
saw
was
that.
laughing. I was like, "That's neat."
I
Like,
saw that on
Yeah.
Twitter, and I was like, "This is how it felt to play tag when you were little."
My yeah.
I don't know how.
No,
you
really,
play-
it does feel like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know how you play tag, but before, like when we would play it, it was like it was one person was it, and it
Yeah.
was kind of like a zombie thing. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you tag. So now instead of them being it, it's two of them are
It was
it.
a good time.
Yeah, so that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that scene. And then on a technical standpoint, because I liked it because of the camera work, but I didn't actually like the scene itself. Was her and her
friend in the car.
boyfriend.
That's
Ah.
funny. That's actually Ivan's favorite scene too.
Yeah.
That was like,
Tell me yours, and I want to talk about something because I was talking about I wanted them to do a callback to that scene.
Got you. Okay. Mine was the choreographed scene in the room where like you see all those people like the dancers like slowly getting next to
yeah,
her.
I get it.
It reminds me of like those video games where like you turn around and like the mannequins are
Yeah,
behind
that's
you.
exactly what I
Yeah,
thought of.
and you turn around, the mannequins are just like there. Like I was like,
Yeah.
this is neat, you know. And you can tell that a majority of that wasn't CGI. It was all practical.
Yeah, no, it was
And
cool.
it was extremely well choreographed. So it was either between that or the beginning. But
It
I
was
was like, I don't
it
want to
was
make the
hard.
beginning. I don't want to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
the beginning.
was amazing.
Yeah.
But,
It was
that-
hard for me to pay attention, but was that the same
I'm pretty
dance choreographers as they were in the prior scene?
I don't
I'm pretty
fucking
sure
know.
it was.
I
I was wondering the same thing. I just didn't
I
go
did
with
not
the double
fucking pay
check.
attention to any of the dancers' faces.
But the
But-
one thing that you might enjoy, because you said that was your favorite scene, that was also the director's favorite scene.
Of course, it's great.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of work.
I think he said it's like two.
I'm
or
sure he's proud of it too.
It took
I feel
like
like that's
3
the
days
money
to
shot of the
shoot.
movie.
The 3 days to shoot. That sounds about right.
Yes, say
No,
it.
I like the little light bulb. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah, yeah.
I was dying. I was
And
like,
then they go further,
Yeah.
and I see another one next to the light bulb. I was like, "Are you?
Oh,
gonna
you
do-
could
are
do
you
it?
gonna do it?"
I would have loved if they just kept
I
doing that
know,
for a
dude.
couple of them
It was-
until the room got dark.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, that would have been horrifying.
That would have been
But
see,
then when they finally caught her, I was like, okay, you know when you get in your kid and you play tag and you're like, I'm caught. Like,
yeah,
me.
and I was like, what's gonna happen here?
yeah. Once she gets caught, I kind of lost it for me. I was like, all right, well, she's
Scene's
caught.
over.
So
It's
what
kind
happened?
of funny because
And they
I don't know
fucking-
if you see all the hands.
Yeah,
It's like the person who's on her chest seems like visually uncomfortable
yeah.
No,
because
it's-
they're all grabbing at her, right? And he's like just hovering kind of, and then he like taps and then he like puts his hand back up, and I'm just like,
And I didn't notice that.
yeah, I was like, that's funny.
Yeah, and the whole like scene with
Um,
like their what is it? Their hands into her mouth or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, it's kind of whatever.
well,
it was
I
kind
say-
of goofy, but
Without saying
fine.
the opening scene, I'd say my favorite scene is the stalker in the house. Just because I legitimately thought he was there,
Yeah.
and there's also 2 moments of
just
like,
because he left skid marks on the fucking carpet.
exactly. There was 2 moments of like stupid humor, which was the caca stained underwear. I was dying. You saw the poo on the underwears?
No, I
Oh
didn't.
shit!
No, yeah.
No,
when
it's
you
just
look
skid marks.
when you're scrolling, when she's looking down, looking through the clothes, you just see poop underwear.
No, you see like,
like-
some socks, his shirt, his pants, some skid marks.
And I was like, this fool is just like he's dirty. And now that you remind me of Perfect Blue, I'm like,
exactly,
I can see that.
yeah. I was like the whole time when I saw that and I saw him over there, I was like, it's Perfect
Oh,
Blue.
and
Like it's
then-
fucking Perfect Blue.
The other scene, the other moment that also made me laugh right after that, because I laughed at that moment, but I was also terrified because I was like, he's probably in the room. There's no reason he wouldn't be. Because it's like, imagine what a cool way to take a concept where you have this demon that can make you see things, and then you to have a legitimate stalker. That's how my mindset was.
Yeah, that's what I thought would have made it better. Like
It would have, but that's where my headspace was in that moment. So I think that's why I like that scene a lot.
And I think if it were real, like, let's say for example, like he runs at him, it's her and her friend, and
Yeah.
they knock him out, and the police come and they like
Yeah.
investigate or whatever, it would add to her paranoia of not wanting to go to the police because of her.
Yeah, and then she'll call the police again. It's like, no, he's in jail. Like he's arrested.
No, not about
you know?
that.
Oh no,
'cause
no,
she doesn't want anything to do with the police.
That's also a cool concept though.
But if
okay.
the police were already like investigating because she was attacked by a stalker, then the police are already going to be around. She's going to be twice as paranoid about her DNA being seen, caught in the.
Oh,
But
that's
I
right,
love
she
that
was gonna-
concept. Imagine how scary it would have been if he was like no, he's in jail, but she keeps seeing him around.
Yeah.
It's like he's in my house. He's like, no, he's in
like,
jail.
he's
He's in
still in
custody.
custody.
We're looking at him.
And I imagine
Yeah.
that, like that would have been crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Because remember he said sign it for my friend too.
Yeah.
So it's like they could have done a lot with that. Well, that's besides the point. What ifs?
But the one scene I wanted them to do a callback at.
Oh yeah.
So it's when her and her boyfriend Paul Hudson,
Yeah.
when they're arguing in the car.
Yeah.
It's a one take, so it shows him talking.
And
It shows the
That felt
road.
weird. Okay.
It shows the road and it shows her.
Yeah.
And they're arguing and it keeps going back and forth. So every time you see a car coming, you're like, oh, like, is this the accident? Is this the accident? So it's very suspenseful. But I wanted them to do a callback when she's in the car with Gemma.
Uh-huh.
And then she answers the phone and Gemma's like, hey, like, I wasn't even sure I was going to answer your call. I wanted them to position back to the smiling Gemma
Oh yeah.
and her like on the phone. This like kind of the
Or
same.
just have Gemma facing
same-
forward, and then like as you go back
Yeah.
and forth,
No,
she starts to smile.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good.
But
Yeah, that's
that
good.
and then have it
would've
transition.
been
So
cool.
you see Gemma like smiling at her, like looking at her, and then it goes over to where Riley's at, and there's nobody there. And then he goes back to the driver's side, and it's Sky driving.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah.
instead
I
of
see.
her just closing her eyes, like, oh, it's not real, and then like,
Yeah.
And it's her driving the whole fucking time.
yeah, because it was
That
her
was
driving
crazy.
the
Yeah.
whole time.
See, yeah.
And the last moment that made me laugh, also in the scene that I just said, was where, she gets an item, she's like ready to fight,
Oh yeah.
and then Gemma's just like, just gets
Sure.
something.
Yeah.
No, but she like doesn't like. She's just like, okay, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah, she's
I
like,
was
fuck
oh,
it,
that's-
I'm with you. I'm your
that's-
ride or die, you know?
Yeah, that's your
Oh,
homegirl.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's your homie. You know, like,
Yeah, too bad it was a demon.
yeah, too bad. But I was laughing in that moment because I was like, that was pretty funny.
Did you guys have a favorite character at all in this movie?
Nah, not really. I did
really.
like Gemma for a good amount of it, but then it's like, it wasn't Gemma.
That wasn't Gemma.
Yeah.
You're like the demon lover.
Demon lover.
I don't know.
I'm thinking
It's
he
kinda
has been
hard to
smiling
say.
a lot this episode.
Not what was it? I don't want to break off too much on tangent because of the time right now. But
Right.
Did you guys feel like she disliked her assistant?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, from the beginning though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I told Ivan that I was like, I think she clearly had some aggression towards him.
Well, with everybody, to be honest. Like, I think.
No,
Mainly
early
him.
on,
Like
it was like specifically
mainly
him.
him.
Really?
It just caught me off guard. And I remember I said that early on. I was like, I felt like she had a tone with him, and he's like, yeah, because she thought he trashed her room. I was like, no, before that.
Like
But-
way before that. Like when
Yeah,
he was like,
I thought so too. Okay,
he's
so
like, oh, well, welcome back, and she just kind of like,
I was thinking of my favorite
screw
characters.
you. I was like,
Yeah.
I was thinking of my favorite characters, and that just popped in my head. Like I didn't like that moment. I didn't really actually mind Gemma as a character, but the easy answer would be like, oh, Joel, like Joel's.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no.
Because honestly, like that opening scene, like Joel was ready to go. He had a plan in his head. He was badass. He's like, this, I'm going to pass it on. And it was smart. It was actually pretty smart. And it was ethical, too, you know?
I mean, as ethical as killing someone in front of somebody else can be.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
no,
yeah.
that's
If
still
as
ethical,
the
man.
rules go, that's as ethical as it can get. You know what I mean? So and he was ready to go. You know, and he was a badass, man. He was a badass.
Would it be wrong if I say I like the demon, the monster, the most in this?
No, I mean, you could get, it's an entity, but you can be
Yeah.
like, oh, that's my favorite.
That was probably my favorite aspect of it because
Yeah.
he had
Sure.
everything in checkmate.
I
Yeah, I know.
like from beginning
Every
to end.
possible
I
scenario.
wasn't rooting for him, but I was like,
we'll get into
no, like,
we'll get into
like,
like,
Yagami, dude. Just,
Yeah.
things we liked and didn't like, but I didn't. Nobody in this movie kept my attention.
okay,
Like, good performances.
a lot
So-so.
of good performances,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
but nothing. Nobody was like, "Oh, like I'm rooting for you," because it was just like,
No,
Yeah.
there was very much no one to like you could root for Sky,
yeah,
but it was like I didn't feel like she was gonna survive from the
yeah. Like
beginning.
I wanted to root for
I-
Sky, but also it was like she's not doing anything productive with her
No,
time.
I
she's
liked
not,
her character.
because it's
I
like-
just like okay, it is
Yeah.
what it is.
It's for me. It
Like-
took her way too long to figure out. Like, okay, this is a entity and it's following me. It took her like a
And even
Yeah,
then,
but
like
she had
70%
that
of the
spoon-fed to her.
movie.
But that's only
Yeah.
because we're the audience. We already knew like the entity.
I know, but it's
So
like
imagine if you-
in the
imagine
last
a
movie.
first-time viewer, like you would have been like, "What the?"
Yeah,
hell
but
is
in the last
happening?
movie, like Rose, like she figured it out within the first like what 30 minutes, and I was like, okay,
I wouldn't go that far.
No, it was
Probably
it was
less,
like,
right?
It was like,
It was like
3
half-
days in.
Yeah. It was
No,
about
but I'm
halfway
saying
mark.
I'm talking about the length of the movie, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
the movie's
I-
only like I think like an hour and 40, an hour and
I
30.
know, yeah, fine.
So,
but
like,
this
45
one,
minutes, I
yeah,
would
I know,
say.
but this one, like, she didn't figure it out to like the third act, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, our favorite. What was your favorite character then? Before we have to take a second.
Uh, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
The
cross the
Jack
streams.
Nicholson's son, like he was cool in the movie. Like I just figured when he was on
Was he?
screen.
I liked him
You
in
know,
that scare moment.
He had one scene,
Two
Yeah, two
scenes.
scenes.
one speaking scene.
Okay.
Sure, when they were fighting in the car,
Yeah.
and then his big scene, I guess, was in the
The reward
fundraiser.
ceremony,
Yeah.
I did like that scene a lot.
Yeah, I did like that scene a lot.
Oh,
too.
I have a fun fact to that scene, but we'll get to it later.
yeah,
So
right,
you
take a
wanna
break. Yeah,
say
take a break.
Ray
Raymano.
Nicholson. Ray Romano. There we were.
Ray
Alright.
Ray
Hold-
Nicholson. Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed that scene where she breaks down at the podium because I was like, oh, it's so obvious that she like something bad's gonna happen here. I wanted very much for her to yell at her mom after that because I know she was in shock.
You know what?
That
And
sucks.
she didn't want to go to that either.
She was like,
You know what sucks for her?
I was in the
Uh,
headspace.
Is she smears her makeup right before she goes up,
And
and,
the lady-
nobody says anything.
Yeah, I know, and that was also
Yeah.
something that Ivan had said was like,
like
why didn't the lady
dude,
stop,
you're
stop her?
you're literally here to prep her for going on stage, and you're not
Exactly.
gonna say anything about that.
Isn't
But,
it this
um,
scene actually? Like this.
This
No.
is a poster.
No,
This is
I
the
know,
movie.
but I'm saying it's in this.
No, the
like,
makeup is from the ending scene and her
gotcha,
performance.
okay.
So it's the butterfly outfit. No, I like that scene a lot because it was just like raw emotion and it was just straight up.
Mhm.
The teleprompter I thought was gonna make her say something
Yeah.
inappropriate.
But no, she did it all on herself.
Yeah, she totally just let. Well, it's kind of like
I like to cha cha and.
you know when you're just like
With
your
somebody
mind
like-
when you have your mind silenced and then just the like word vomit comes out like
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything
Like,
that's just been holding it all that emotion it just starts spilling out of you. That's what it felt like in that moment, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that was a really cool scene. But then I just thought it was funny that the teleprompter still said Paul on it.
yeah. So
I was
so
dying.
the fun fact about that was the fact that it still said that
yeah,
showed that she was still hallucinating at that time.
yeah, she did. Okay,
Yeah. So it was intentional. It wasn't just like, oh look, it still says Paul.
yeah, it
It's
just was
like
funny.
it's still all in her head.
All right, so what's the fun fact about that scene though?
That was it.
That was it.
The fact that,
Oh,
the fact that it said that.
I bring up.
Yeah. I did
Um,
like that they referenced that scene slightly a little bit later at the bar. They're like, oh dude, I saw that video where you threw that old lady. Like I watched it like 50 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the big one, the ending.
Uh, let's see.
Or
let's
am I missing
see.
something?
So did you dislike it or like it? I'll gladly talk about whatever after.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
but
What you
I'm
got? What you
curious.
got? Because
I
I
Alright,
want to.
So what did you like about the movie, and what did you dislike about the movie?
What I liked about the movie, the cinematography, amazing, spot on. Everything is great. What I didn't like about the movie,
Everything else.
the CGI. The CGI. I didn't like the CGI at
very,
all.
very much after I disliked the jump scares, hands down.
The jump scares were really
But
annoying. They
I-
were one of the few things keeping me awake, but they were
I
there were just so many of them, and they weren't even good jump scares. They were just like
They're just random.
loud noise.
Yeah, they're just loud
I
noise.
understood why they were there. Yeah, and yes, I agree completely. But I was like, once I saw the jump scares, I was like, oh, this is very much a mainstream movie because that's what they all filled are.
Yeah,
like the
but-
9, like.
But if you
How
think
many
about
movies-
it, think about the
then-
first movie with the jump scares. They were smart with those jump
Oh
scares.
no, yeah, they were like kind of out of
Like,
nowhere.
one
But
of
they
the-
were so far and few in between.
Well, it's because
Where this
remember
one, it
the
felt like
first movie.
they had like a quota they had to meet.
I know, but in the first movie,
Yeah,
yes.
kinda
But in
did.
the first
Yes.
movie, where she's like looking around and you see, like again, I'm going back to the first movie. You
Something
see this,
good,
you see
yeah.
the
Something to
silhouette of
reference.
Laura, right? The silhouette looks terrifying, and then like the alarm goes off in the house, and that startles you. And then she like grabs a knife and
Oh, she
fucking
drops
you
her
hear-
glass, yeah.
Yeah, and the fuck with that one where like you hear footsteps and you see a silhouette running out, and you're like, holy shit, it's her boyfriend. It's like, bro, like.
He comes in like it's the A train, baby.
Yeah, like that's terrifying. I thought that those were smart scares
Yeah.
for that, But in these ones, it's just like, a scream or a fucking vase
So-
falling on the floor.
Yeah, it was very much like I'm watching the video of the guy showing nothing on camera, and then the guy screams in my face, and it's like, ah. Like,
It's a callback
But-
to the first movie. Like,
no,
it's-
yeah,
come
but like
on.
those moments are very much like it kind of like lowered the bar a little bit in my head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it
That's
did.
why
It
that's why the
definitely did.
CG was like, oh, it's CG. Like they're just
Yeah.
it's
It's
very
one
much-
of those.
Yeah,
It's-
this is just meant to be fun to watch, and also just trying to pull off a sequel.
Yeah,
And this
because
is also
I
where
think the first movie was more like there's a story to tell.
Right.
It has to do with like
Her dis-
internalized trauma.
oh god,
passing on your trauma.
I get
this and that.
chills when I think about that.
And then this one is kind of like, oh well, we have a movie monster, and we have a budget to make a sequel.
Right,
But see,
exactly.
there's moments that are like that in this movie, but they're just like you said, they're so short.
It's the same
So-
writer and director, so I'm wondering why it was so.
Probably because he probably listened to critiques.
Studio
and
interference.
stuff.
Maybe
or
he felt
something.
felt pressured, and yeah, it could be
I
studio
said-
interference too. Like it's
Because he's like, I want it to be like real and grounded, and I want it to be a psychological
Yeah.
thriller. And they go, oh well, it's a big blockbuster movie.
we'll give you 10 million more if you add these little jump scares.
We'll give you 10 million more
It
if
happens.
you don't do that.
No, it happens.
I
No, no,
think
it
was
does
just meant to
happen like
appeal
that.
to the masses. That's what
That's
I
what
honestly think
that's
it
what I'm
was.
thinking.
But I am curious before we go to see what Smile's rating was by comparison to
So
To this one?
this first
To this
one,
Mm.
because I feel like people are
Like I
gonna have
said,
a
so-
audience. I feel like would have
Yeah.
liked this movie way more.
6.8 out of 10 for IMDb and 86 for critic for Rotten Tomatoes. Let me look up the
For
actual
this
one
one
right there. But
or
This is for this one.
while I
Uh-huh.
do that, actually, do
Oh,
I?
I still want to talk about the moments I enjoyed. So
Yeah.
the moments I enjoyed were
So funnily enough, 6.5 for IMDb for the first smile, and 79 for Rotten Tomatoes. So overall, it's a lower score.
yeah.
then
That's
this one.
that's what I would
Yeah.
expect.
Overall, this
um,
one's slightly above the first one. Then
In terms of
Audience,
them,
audience,
yes.
Yeah,
audience
in terms of-
reception. I
yeah.
would say.
Audience and critic score, yeah, it's a little bit above
Okay.
it, but overall, I think this movie was definitely lackluster in
Yeah.
comparison.
So one of my favorite moments in the first smile was the moment where she's sitting in her room and she has to go to the party and she's forcing herself to smile. And I said
Oh,
that I
yeah.
explained it in our episode. I was like, that's like her having to wear a mask, but it's also the same as the demon that she's trying to like
yeah,
escape
it
from.
was such a
Right.
good double meaning.
Yes,
and I feel like we didn't really get that too much.
we got two moments like that, and they were only like a second.
The thing is, I was thinking instead of a pop star, I was like, it should have been an actor, because you could have had the same concept of like fame,
Yeah,
but it would have been more about masking your presence,
right.
Yeah.
and I felt like that
I
would have
can-
been
I
more
can understand
impactful.
that.
for
And
a
it would, I
story.
think, it would have broken the fourth wall a little
But
too
the-
much if it was an actor.
the two things.
I mean, how so?
Because it's like it's like he's gonna be working on movies and he's being haunted, and you're watching a movie about this actor being haunted, and the actor in the
meta.
movie is being. That's what I mean. Like it's a little bit too.
I don't know. I think it would have
meta.
it would have been more. It would have made more sense for an actor to have to disguise what they're going through, but they basically got the same thing with like a past user, like a past drug addict.
Well, the
So
two
it's like, oh, like you can't really express what you're going through because people are just gonna assume you're on drugs or you're
Right.
relapsing,
Mhm.
which they kind of touched on a little bit in the movie.
Yeah, the concept was there. Now, the first thing, first person celebrity wise, I thought of when I saw this character was Miley Cyrus.
Oh.
That I was like, not just because of the blonde hair, but because of this transition. Like it's like when she did her little transition from like child star to
Yeah,
idol, like or like whatever we would call her
Pop
now.
star.
Just well, she's not pop star now. She was she like
well, when she was
Celebrity.
transitioning.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm just like I was like, I can-
from going from Disney Channel to Wrecking Ball.
So I can understand, yeah, that process. And then I also thought of JoJo Siwa because she was talking about wanting to be like
You
Miley
know who I like
Cyrus.
on my
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, I kept singing "I Was a Bad Girl." And I sang it like 3 times during the movie. But I can understand where that headspace is, where you're the audience, the parasocial relationship has trapped you into a bubble,
Yeah.
and then from there you can't even be yourself.
Yeah,
That's why I liked the sides of the silent moments. I liked. Well, I love the scene where she has to greet people.
Oh
And
yeah.
that whole segment was like was cool because it was like, oh, you're getting her personality. She's
Right.
making time for her fans here.
Mhm.
That says a lot about her
Yeah.
as a character. But then she also has creepers and all this stuff that happens. So the quiet moments I enjoyed a lot. When she comes out of the cocoon as a butterfly in the finale, and her mom's like, smile,
Yeah, smile.
and I was like, oh, like that got me. I was like, that's pretty
Like,
good.
Here it comes. Yeah.
And then that also happens in the beginning of the movie. When she's walking out and everyone's taking pictures of her, paparazzi, she drops a smile for a second, and then she forces herself to smile again. And I was like, just give me more of this, please. Like, give me more of this throughout this movie, because I get why Joel was just kind of cut off early on, because that story is ending. That's the end.
Yeah.
Like that's why I also think that's why that scene's so cool, because it's like this ends that first movie like fully.
Yeah.
And then now we have this new character kind of projectiling off. And other than that, I still liked a lot of the movie because, like, yeah, the jump scares were there, but a lot of like cool choreography. I ain't gonna lie,
Amazing.
Like all the dance sequences were amazing. Her getting flipped around was fucking sick as shit.
That shit was crazy.
I was like, who is this? I was
Yeah.
like, she has some talent.
That's
and then
Princess Jasmine.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I was like, the singing is actually really good. The
And
acting,
that's actually her.
Yeah.
That's always a good,
again, didn't know any of that, but I was like, wow, like who did they find?
The songs were good too.
So the only things
They're all right.
the only things I can knock it out for is being a little too long,
Yeah.
having a really weak third act, like a painful third act, like because now it all seems pointless.
Yeah.
And then
pretty much.
And then just the jump scare heavy stuff, and just not enjoying like the fear you can instill. Like I felt her paranoia, but because her acting during those scenes of paranoia are fantastic, but as the movie was so long, it just like I don't know, it felt chopped up. Is that just me? Like it felt choppy in some parts.
And I feel like there's some English major out there who's like, well, it was meant to be choppy to give you that sense of disorientation. It's
That's fair, but it's also like you could do that while still having the story flow. I've seen plenty of horror movies that do that. I thought
for me, I think I really liked the cinematography. Like on a technical standpoint, this movie was really good.
Better than the first.
Cinematography was
Better
good
than
too.
the first, yeah.
But the one thing and it's the same. It goes back to like the English major that just gonna in the comments, right? Where it's just like I didn't get why they constantly flipped the camera upside down.
Fucking.
And they were like,
I thought that was
it's
just
because of the,
distortion.
it's because of her life's being twisted upside down.
It's
It's not Fresh Prince. Like they just kept doing it over and over again.
They did.
It's just for stylistic choice. It's very artsy fartsy kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know,
well, because
like,
the thing is too is I don't know if it was intentional because they even had it in the opening sequence
right
with the smile.
Oh yeah, and it went into
so
a frown.
It turned to a frown.
Yeah.
And then there were a lot of scenes where they would rotate the camera
Yeah.
to just kind of show that worldview.
Yeah.
Or I guess you can kind of turn my fucking English major, you know.
actually,
But
you
I'm
want to borrow my
yeah.
glasses? So you can put them up?
You can kind of say that it's like, since the whole movie, most of the movie, they tease that it was a hallucination. Maybe her frowning the whole time was actually the real her, because she did force a smile on, so it's like them just turning the world upside down into a frown.
Smile
It's
upside
just,
down, frown
it's
there.
just,
Unless
it's
there
just
was
her,
unless there was like a
Could have been
more of a reason where it's like
knows?
every time you see the camera rotate, all that stuff is fake.
Yeah, that's also what I was
Something
thinking.
like that.
Or
But
realistically,
you know
it's
what
the
I
cameraman
hated?
just falling asleep.
Hated a lot was how often the demon spoke.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mind that at all.
I
didn't even register.
It sounded so bad, and it was
Yeah,
just
I
like,
did. It really did.
It's like your mother doesn't love you, and it's like I
Yeah,
know.
it's kind of weird.
I don't know. I think it's reminding me of Scream, like that in those moments.
Yeah, but Scream is like a grounded
I know, I get
meta,
it. I get it.
slasher film.
All right, guys, let's pull the Band-Aid off. Let's get to the ending because
Okay,
I'm really just itching to
I'm
just.
dying. Yeah, I'm curious.
Do the ending
So
and then
here-
whatever
hold on.
fun facts
He-
we didn't get to.
Sure.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
get to it.
Here's the thing:
I'll
the
talk,
ending,
I'm
starting from when she's in the fucking freezer. Okay.
At Pizza Hut, which
I-
for some reason they
Pizza,
kept bringing that
yeah.
up.
For some
also,
reason.
like, a lot of product placement.
A
what's
lot.
funny?
You
Is-
fucking think?
yeah,
You think?
God, that's fine.
You think?
But like Voz, Pizza Hut, I was like, they just straight up saying companies. Like,
Yeah.
No, yeah, I know.
Apparently, they were like, "Oh, we don't really want like product placement in it," but they were like, "Oh, we want her to drink like water."
yeah. But she's rich, so make it. Voz.
Yeah, they're like, "Yeah, like, that looks fancy." Like, look at that.
The only reason I know about Voz is because one of my old coworkers, for a Christmas present, she was like, I don't like, I like to be able, like, I like food and eating,
Right.
and she likes expensive water Voz, and I was like, oh, there you go. I bought her a case for $30, and I was like, here's a,
Holy shit.
yeah, I bought like a whole pack, and I was like, here you go. And she was like, this is awesome. I was like, all right, cool. It's the only reason why I know what Voz is.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool. The only ingredient in this is just
it was a
natural
Christmas present.
spring
The
water.
only ingredient here just says water.
Yeah, I'm wondering if
Yeah.
his pH level's balanced or something. All right.
Anyway,
Finale.
so
Every time you slam it, I want to hear a glass shatter on the end.
Excuse me, sorry. Did you like it or dislike it? 'Cause
Well, here's the thing. From the point where like the monster reveals itself in the freezer, right, and it comes down on her. That one did completely killed the movie for me. Like, cause when the monster kind of like looked at little bug-eyed things, you know.
I hated the.
I hated it so much.
It looks so bad for a movie at this scale.
I hated it so much. It looked so goofy.
It looked like Large Marge.
It looked like Large Marge.
It
looked like Large Marge. I hated it.
When you get to the concert, tell them Sky Riley sent
exactly. She's like, Sky Riley sent me.
Why did you say so?
As a matter of fact, today's right. Anyway, it looked goofy. It looked goofy.
It was in the first movie.
No,
the buggy eyes.
The buggy eyes was not in the first movie.
I'm pretty sure it was in the first.
Okay, so the way the monster revealed in the first movie, you see this big humanoid-looking thing that comes out through the hallway. That's terrifying. Completely practical.
Yeah.
And terrifying, right? Mm-hmm. From that point on, that thing just kind of splits open, right, to reveal the actual monster. That, to a point, is also practical.
I thought her mom's eyes went buggy at some point.
They looked a little buggy. They didn't look like they were 2D.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It didn't look cartoony. No, they were getting big at one point, but it kind of just like camera just kind of got dark, and so you kind of lost it in the whole like silhouette, right? But in this one, they just put too much detail in that, and it looked really, really cartoony. It looked goofy. And then from that point on, obviously, we move on to the stage, right? Okay. The big reveal, right? Her standing in front of herself. What did you think of the monster reveal, Raymond? What did you think of the whole overall, like, actual monster design? Her coming out of her, like, that whole scene. What did you think?
I hated it.
I hated it too. I fucking hated it. I hated it. I hated it.
So bad.
It's all CGI, dude.
It's all like
it's all CGI.
The first one was practical.
It was practical when the monster comes out like that,
and
dude.
The fact that they knew it was going to take place on a stage with a spotlight.
Yeah.
Why
not just invest a little bit of money into a practical puppet?
That was so. And the whole time I'm watching the movie, I'm like, I know it's coming in the end.
Is that why it looked so glossy?
Like, yeah.
It
looked glossy. It looked overly
saturated. Yeah.
So I noticed it, but I didn't care.
My favorite part from the first movie was the practical monster at the end. I was like, this looks great. It looks terrifying. You know, it looks good. It looks good.
The whole movie for that big
exactly.
moment.
So when this movie, I was watching the movie, I was like, this movie, obviously, you can tell it has a bigger budget, right? So I can't wait to see what the monster looks like at the end. It might look different. That's fine, but I want to see what they have. It looked awful. It looked so bad. I was like, what the hell? They just threw the whole budget into the choreography, and then they just kind of like, oh yeah, we gotta.
Okay, I can see that critique.
yeah, because it's like.
But you didn't like maybe because I thought the way the monster the body looked split in half. Like
I thought that was okay.
I just no.
When you when they have that single shot where you're like she's looking at it because it's from her
perspective,
right, and you just see her own body like kind of dangling out, and it zooms out.
It looked bad to me.
Like you didn't like the way the creature
I just didn't like the way
it was like elongated.
I think that the scene. I feel like that scene was fine. I just hated the monster design. I hated the whole thing about him. I hated it. Extremely hated it. That was my biggest complaint the first time watching it. I probably dropped like, I don't know, fucking 3 points watching it the first time.
I did not mind the monster reveal. I hated the setup for it. I hated the
fact that none of it was real.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I hated that too.
It felt
yeah.
unearned because I saw when the movie started, I was like, it's a pop star.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, we might have the rings on our hands. Like we just might have the ending of the ring.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, that would be cool, but it better be a spectacle. It better be nuts. Like, and I was like, also like the build up to that moment must be like amazing,
crazy, yeah.
Because
but it was basically like when you skip a cutscene in a video game.
Yeah,
it felt like that. Yeah. Because it's like I was expecting that big spectacle too, and it just it literally went from a Pizza Hut freezer to like the grand finale, and it's like, whoa, what the hell?
No, yeah, it very much it felt as jarring as it was for her.
Yeah. And the one thing, I mean, I guess you can. It's English major vibes, but if you look at the ending scene where she's, what's the word? Using her head as a pincushion.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is in terror, but if you look at the crowd, nobody is covering their eyes.
And that's where they want to imply the third movie.
Yeah, well, I don't think that needs a third movie. I
Well,
don't
if
think it
there's a-
needed the second movie.
If there
but-
is a third movie,
Which
if
they
there-
are,
I
right?
didn't know that, but if there is one,
Is there?
I was
I'll look into it
the
before we
monster.
get into fun facts.
The whole
I know.
concept is gonna be done into the ground. Like
Well,
with
it's
that many
'cause-
with that many victims, like it's gonna
well,
be
here-
completely explained and understood. At that
Here's the
point.
thing. It's
People
the
are gonna
same
solve
thing.
it.
It's so this movie. It's the same thing as like a demon virus. It's the same thing as It Follows. The same thing as The
Oh
Ring.
yeah, truth or dare
So
scenario.
it's truth there. Yeah. So if they're gonna build on a sequel, I feel like they're kind of doing what The Ring originally tried to do with the third movie, Rings,
Yeah.
which pretty much it became
Yeah,
into
it's
like
like-
a
Didn't you
viral
just say that
video.
exact thing?
Yeah, but
Yeah, I know, I know.
It's okay. I pop off, King.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Though.
No, and it's like obviously like Rings, right?
Yeah.
It became like a viral video, meaning everybody's watching
It
it.
became a dare almost.
But
Yeah.
it almost
And
seemed
Daredevil.
there were so many plot holes
Was that the
to
one
Rings.
with the kid from Luck of the Irish?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, where they were
Um,
like, "Oh, like you're gonna watch this movie, and when you start seeing some freaky stuff,
Well,
you're
that's
gonna pass it off."
that's Rings. That's the short film.
That's
the
the
short,
short film.
film was
Yes.
great, but then they made a movie on it.
Yeah.
But the thing is that there's so many plot holes because
And I know you like the ring, so that's why I thought you would learn.
I remember-
liking this movie because it very much was like that kind of vibe.
No, the vibe I got from it more was the ending of Truth or Dare.
Yeah, that's
So
what
just
that's
kinda
what
like-
that also
Exactly,
like.
Whatever,
yeah.
like everyone's just a bad person.
So it's like I feel like that's what the route they're leaning to, but it can go both ways. They can just go out, go nuts, and have fun with the idea,
Just, that's what they
or
should
it
do.
can, or it can just suck like Rings. You know, like it's like wait, so hold on. What if some people actually close their eyes before the monster, before she actually kills herself? Does that count as trauma? Or what if
what
like
if you hear something traumatic? Will that
yeah,
count?
or
Yeah.
people
That's
that
what's gonna happen. So
people
become
that watch it
completely
on
overexplained.
TV, right? Like does that count as drama? Or like as you mentioned the other time too, are animals affected by this?
Or like
Who knows, man? Who knows?
not necessarily that.
I
Is
know.
what I said.
not
It's the
necessarily
cat.
that, but-
It's like
Or-
the kid could have been traumatized in the first film
Yeah.
from seeing the dead cat, which
Uh-huh.
it could have inadvertently have.
Or
transferred onto him.
how about psychotic people that are just like mind
not all
like
there.
yeah, they're not all there and they're numb to all this violence and they're like that's cool, you know,
Bird
like
box.
yeah, exactly. They're like oh that's fucking cool. Like are they gonna be affected? No, it shouldn't. They shouldn't be. It's not trauma for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
but there is plans for a Smile 3. It's planning on going into production this year in 2025.
boy,
So I mean, I guess
I
kinda-
don't know, bro.
I'll wait for a trailer, but it's probably not going to be
well-
something I'm going to see in theaters.
I rewatched the trailer of this movie right after finishing the movie, just because I wanted to see what was what. They had some scenes that were not there originally, just two,
Mm.
How
and
do you
then
know?
because
Is any of this real?
You're right. But I did that scene where I said, oh, that's probably where she got possessed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that actually did look like a trailer shot, like because it was in the trailer. It was like the last scene of
Right,
the trailer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was laughing. But no, yeah, it just felt unearned. That's the issue that I had with it. And then I said it better be a spectacle, so I was fully expecting like a gruesome, horrible, like her
Yeah.
like impaling herself with that microphone or something. Like I thought she was gonna swallow it. Like I thought something horrible like that, like it was gonna come out her throat. Like
I thought she was gonna swallow the
and then
mic too.
I was
or
like,
some
oh,
shit.
cool. They're showing the audience reaction. They better have a good shot of the aftermath.
Like a gore aftermath.
And then it was just like the eyeball, and I was like, okay. I was like, all right.
I honestly
The
with
end.
the third movie like
Good movie though, but like
it can go both ways. I would say wait for the trailer too, but I hated the trailer to the first Smile and I hated the trailer for this one. You know, so
I like the trailer of the first Smile.
I hated it because I was like, this looks goofy. That's why I lowered my expectations in the first place. When I saw the trailer for this one, I was like, this looks goofy as just like the first one,
when
you know. But
when I saw the first Smile trailer, I was like, oh, this is Truth or Dare, and that movie blew me away. This movie literally ended like Truth or Dare.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, well, there you go.
But yeah, that's it.
We got time for fun facts?
Sure, yeah.
No, I want to hear it. Let's just stop for a second. then.
Yeah,
So present the fun facts.
Okay. So whatever we didn't end up accidentally stumbling across.
Yeah.
Because there was a couple times you're like, oh, this thing, and I was like, well, since you brought it up.
Yeah.
So basically, to ensure the sequel was different from the predecessor, meant giving the film a unique look. So he wanted to give it like a glammy, shiny, like very fun pop star world.
Okay.
Feels like
but
that.
also make it feel very cold, frigid, threatening, almost alien. Which I felt like in the scene where she's like trying to pack up her stuff and she's like raging in the bathroom.
Right.
Like that bathroom was like way too
Clean.
clean. It was like
Oh no, I thought that was
unlived.
crazy because I was like, there's a lot of mirrors in there, and I was like, I wonder how difficult it was to shoot in there.
Hey,
then
that's pretty
That's
good.
the first thing I thought of because the floor was glossy. Like the floor, you could see the reflection
Yeah.
of the shower. And when she threw the whatever she threw at the
shower door.
the shower door, I was like, I wonder if that was intentional.
So
I was like,
you're,
no,
you're right, because mirror shots, like even though they're so simple, they're
Yeah,
the
13
hardest
ghosts, like,
to fucking film,
crazy.
because you got to deal with reflections and refractions.
Mhm.
Like and you gotta fix all that in post, and then add details in post and details. It's a nightmare. It's
So
a nightmare.
cinematography shot. When I saw that bathroom scene, I was like, this is obviously she's in like a higher class. She's living in a different world than we are.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, what a cool shot. Like, because there's a big old mirror on the right. The floor is mirrored.
They should have just pulled like the
It's
Wachowskis
cool.
in the Matrix. You guys ever seen that?
I don't think I know. So.
My bad. Hold on, before you continue. There's a shot in the Matrix where like Morpheus, he goes and grabs like a knob, right? Like the camera is like pointing towards a shiny knob, and he goes and grabs the knob, and you see the reflection of his hand grab the knob. But if you pause there, it's just like this fucking camera guy with the hood on, dressed in green, like so he can like what's it called? So he can match the color of the knob. He's just filming with the camera in the reflection of the knob.
But
All right,
it's
go
the
on.
Matrix, so none of that
Yeah,
was real.
I know. Go on.
But yeah, I also thought she was gonna swallow glass in that scene.
Ooh.
Glass.
Because all that shattered pieces. I was like, if that was intentional, which it might have been, because it was a movie. But I was like, those little pills on the floor. Imagine she just swallowed a piece of glass, and I thought that's what was gonna happen in that moment.
Have you ever seen the movie The Forest?
Yes.
Oh, there was another movie
What
too.
does
where
that
the-
sound familiar?
Oculus is what I think you're thinking.
Oculus.
Of too.
I'm thinking of Oculus as well, but
Oh, yeah.
where she takes a bite of the apple.
That's Oculus.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
And here- Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's what I thought.
That would have been nice.
Yeah. But also my head's a little
Yeah.
jacked up. All right, go continue.
But yeah, so basically he wanted to move away from like the usual like there's a creepy basement or like there's a weird hallway or like
Yeah,
alleyway
put
or
someone
whatever.
who's in spotlight versus
Yeah, so
someone.
he said,
Nice. I
he wanted
appreciate
you to
that.
find fear, dread, and unease in the unexpected environment.
Do you think that,
Nice.
like, let's say, like a pop star like Miley Cyrus actually watched this? Do you think it would have felt relatable in some sense, as far as like the creepy aspect of it? Like I'm curious.
Like the meet and greets and
do you-
stuff, or
Yeah, like just like the character itself,
I mean,
having
I
like
think- I
its
think it's-
turmoil, not being taken seriously, or like being treated like a prop as opposed to.
I think it would be entirely up to their mindset because like sometimes you'll see something like, oh man, like this is how I felt about this movie,
Mm-hmm.
and someone will watch it and they'll be like, I didn't get that from that, and it's like
That's why I'm asking, because
Yeah.
I'm like, is it someone's interpretation of how that feels to be like that, or do you think it actually felt relatable to the people that are in those positions?
Well, like you said, it's
I'm
entirely up to interpretation because it's like
I'm philosophical.
you can say like, oh, like I bet they feel this way, but then they could also be like, nah, like I don't care, like this is just how I live my life.
Yeah. All right. I'm just curious. Keep
let's
going.
see. So,
Fun facts.
Naomi Scott said she modeled Sky Riley after Lady Gaga. Furthermore, when she's strolling
Yeah,
through
makes
her
sense.
contacts to Gemma, you can see Gaga above.
Fun fact. You can actually. I'm not gonna say the name, but there's a name there that is actually one of my best friend's names in there. I was cracking up. I took a picture for myself.
You look at it, the screenshot just says Bobby.
Bobby.
It was funny. I didn't even notice it until you pointed it out, and I was
No,
like,
yeah.
"It must be really hidden." But you showed me. It's
No,
like
it's right
it's
there.
right there. And it's like, oh
because
shit!
because his name's in my contacts, I immediately saw the name as she scrolled through her phone.
Is she looking at her phone or my phone?
I was like, what?
Where's my phone? This movie's too real.
Yeah, that was
But she has a scar on her knee, and if you look at it, it's in the shape of a smile.
Nice.
Okay.
So the scar she got from the accident, she has a scar in the shape of a smile.
I didn't even notice that.
I didn't know she had.
Hey,
a
the
scar
cut on
on
my
her.
leg looks like a smile too. Is that-
Yeah. Ooh, come to think of it, you're talking about seeing weird stuff lately.
He's talking to himself. Go on.
Wasn't your Anna a psychiatrist? Didn't she give you a cat for your birthday that one year?
I heard
It's
Anna.
all coming back.
My brain went Anna and the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
His phone rings like, Bobby. We did tell you we canceled
No, yeah,
the
like,
podcast
your
today,
phone rings,
right?
You're like, hey, Bobby, like we're not gonna make it today. Like we're running late, and you're just like, we're just smiling at
We're
you.
just
Let's see. When Sky talks to Morris at the bar, so this was what we talked about earlier, when her phone keeps going off.
Yes.
This is
And
the
it's
be-
like,
the
oh,
beginning
like,
where you
it's
meet him
probably
for the
not
first
real.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I did believe. At that
Do
moment
you
too.
recognize Morris from anything?
Yeah. House.
Yeah, I got it
Yeah.
from the house. And when he's talking about all the medical procedures, like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is-
Yeah, it's
I-
a
I-
spin-off.
from.
Spin-off.
I made a random reference while watching it with Tive, and I was like, yeah, this is the guy who talks about Pokemon with House in that one episode.
yeah.
He's like Arceus. that they literally say that. And I'll send it to you.
So during the conversation in the abandoned Pizza Hut, when the entity possessed the Sky from the night of a car accident, the creature says to Sky, like, I've been waiting a long time for you. Even though her possession is basically the same amount of time as anyone else. Basically, it was saying it wanted the chance to get in front of an audience.
There you go. Yeah, I was gonna say that too. I was like,
Yeah, I had a feeling that's
it's trying to spread itself as much as possible.
yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm curious if what the end game is, because like we said, there's a couple points in the movie where it's like, oh, 100% she's already fully possessed.
Yes.
Is there any reason why it would keep them alive longer? Like, does it feed off of their
trauma,
fear, their
or
trauma,
their life,
or does it just want to just pass on as much as it can? Because once she was fully possessed, it was like, hey, let's do a show right now.
Well, did you
Let's go on CBS Morning?
The way I interpreted the reveal of the monster at the end, because you saw how much bigger he is, right? He's like
he's like a fucking horse.
Yeah. I thought that was because of how much, like, he was able to feed off of her. That's how I interpreted it. That's how, because at this point
makes sense.
He accumulated 2 more bodies, right?
Well,
Since
he has trauma prior to seeing her friend die.
So, but like on top of that, he's had 2 additional victims since the first movie, which was Rose and Joel, and then her trauma, he was just like, oh, you taste so good, and then he comes out and he's freaking gigantic, and I'm like, oh, like, yeah, that's how I interpreted it. That's how I was like, oh, okay, I think that if they go that whole route where he's just like a parasite and possesses everybody, he's gonna be like a kaiju.
Gonna be Godzilla versus Smile 3.
Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. That's just my thought, my mindset. But it's also fun to hear all these facts because it's very much I did have a thought like related to those.
No, I thought so too. Like I when that scene at the end happens, I was like, okay, yeah, it makes fucking perfect sense. Like the demon, when he says, "I've been waiting a long time for you," it's like because he knew from the beginning, like he knew where he wanted to go. He kind of knew how it wanted to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's almost like
you were saying, like the demon was like 5 steps ahead every
dude. He was
literally,
like
literally,
5D chess.
literally.
Like he,
So
you know what? He earned this.
Good for him.
Kind of
Good
felt like
for
that,
him.
really.
Good for
Bobby's
him.
favorite character. You did some work.
Striving in the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the way Sky deals with her drug alcohol cravings is by chugging a bottle of Vaz.
Just go over here.
Ting.
Ready?
All right.
Ready? 1, 2,
drank
3,
mine.
and there we go.
Water in one go was not actually done with any kind of special effects, so that's actually not Naomi Scott doing it.
Yeah.
So some.
So she actually drank it?
She said it's
Damn.
actually really hard to go down to down a bottle of Vaz. I guess I didn't anticipate how uncomfortable it would be, but she just like drank every single bottle like that.
Jesus Christ.
And it reminded me of an interview with Jim Carrey where they were like, "Oh, I love how I love doing the Grinch," and he like morphs his face. He's like, "You mean like this?" And they go, "Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was makeup." So it's like just something that she did that made people like super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Hers were bigger than these ones though. So
Oh, they
that's
were
also
massive.
crazy.
They were massive, dude.
Well, she got that pop star money, all right. I'm not. I don't.
I'm not judging.
We don't even get monetized from the episodes. here.
Imagine chugging like that big of a glass. Like, oh my god.
And just to think about that, she must have had like 12 to 15 hour shoot days. It's like, imagine how many times she had to go to the fucking bathroom. Yeah.
Or the
Yeah,
demon does
dude.
it for her. You're like, oh, that's actually kind of nice.
Or was she actually chugging it? Yeah.
Mm. Oh yeah, that was another thing that you had brought up prior when you first watched it.
What?
Is that she never actually drank all that water?
Oh yeah.
Because when she's in the hospital, they go, yeah, like you're sleep deprived and you're super dehydrated.
Dehydrated,
And
yeah.
it's
That
like, well,
was-
she's been drinking water this whole time.
That
so-
was a trip. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was. That's when I was like, wait, how long has it been since that moment?
Yeah.
So you could actually
And
say that she started tripping out before she drank the first water bottle.
I need
Or
to go
from the
back
moment
and
that she
rewatch
drank
the last
that.
scene just because I want to hear about see the CGI you were talking about.
and the
but-
first scene, so you could see that was one take.
Yeah, but I also like, did she? I don't know if she had a bald spot. Well, you wouldn't have been able to tell. It would have covered it up. But I thought when she started pulling her hair more, and I was like, oh, this is her substitute for the water.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought they put so much emphasis on
yeah.
it.
What was funny was it was like she's like freaking out. She's pulling her hair out, and so when she's like trashing out her bathroom, and she like breaks to the shower wall. I was like, we've all been on a 5-loss streak on Marvel Rivals. Like I can relate to this.
Yeah, it's hard not to get mad.
Yeah.
What does the Galactus girl say?
Yeah, better luck next time.
No, the
you,
other one.
You
the
can't
other
win
one.
them all.
Yeah, you can't win them all. Shut up.
It's like when she's in the car, like, I hate you. It's like, you can't win them all.
You can't win them all.
Well, was that your last fun fact, or was there
That was the last fun fact. The other one was the majority of people thought where she was possessed was during that choreograph scene. Which we already
sense.
talked
That,
about.
like you said, I think that does make a lot more sense.
Well,
I can see, like you said, when you put logic into it, or like, oh yeah, she had to have called Gemma at some point when she did send it. So yeah, I can accept that. I'm surprised you didn't find it that entertaining overall, but I
said, I don't know if I wasn't in the mood to watch a movie today, but it just.
No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
It wouldn't keep my attention. The jump scares were the only thing keeping me awake, but I was like, these are just getting annoying.
And I
at
told
this
you
point.
when I first watched that. Remember, I told you I was like, the intro got me hooked. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
and I was hooked
saw
for
the
like,
intro and I was like, this is really good.
Yeah, and then like for the next 30 minutes, I was like, it's starting to die down. Like, let's pick it up. And then it doesn't take till like another 45 minutes where it's like, okay, well now it actually picks up, you know. But by that point, I was already okay. Let's just see how this ends.
You know what makes me mad is I was starting to get invested in the third act, and then to only find out that none of it was real.
Yeah,
I was like, now it's picking up. Like her friend's not real.
Yeah,
she's
like,
gonna stop her
fuck.
heart. The monster's here.
Yeah.
He did that stupid voice, but that's fine. And then suddenly it's like, oh, like none of that happened.
I thought it
Your
was
mom's
bad.
alive, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought that big moment where she stabs herself in the neck was pretty hype. I was like, ooh.
It was
Yeah.
hype. Like
Like she bit off the thumbs, and I was like, hey.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're gonna go for it, you know, like you're gonna.
I was actually wondering because
I was rooting for her in that moment.
it's a very dark scene,
Uh-huh.
and you don't see one of her hands, right? And I was like, what if she bit off her own fingers?
I mean, wow, yeah, imagine.
Which also makes me think of the forest as well. But that one's like a spoiler, so I'm not going to go into why I think it makes me think of that.
The also random thing where he's like, I gotta step out for a second. I was like, what a weird.
Right off the
What a weird
bat,
thing to say, yeah.
right off the bat, I was like,
He's
I
I
was
have
like,
everything prepped to stop
yeah.
this demon that killed my brother.
Yeah.
But oh shoot, I forgot my timer.
And he goes,
yeah.
and then
yeah.
after,
I was
she's
like, he's demon.
She's
He's a
immediately
fucking demon.
concerned, and I'm like, why does it feel like this is really like steady? That's why I thought he was gonna come back. I was like,
Part of me was like, just trap yourself in the freezer. Like, just kill it. Like, just die on your own terms.
did you expect a cocoon? Did you guys expect the ending? Was I the only person who was like, oh yeah, that's what's gonna happen?
I
She's gonna die on
I
stage?
expected the ending, but I did not expect the terrible looking ending.
I like I said, I knew some of the stuff about the movie prior.
Oh, so you
So
knew about that?
I knew how it was
Oh,
gonna
okay,
end.
okay. So that was already
Yeah.
I saw the cocoon and I was like, oh, that's gonna come up some point. Cool. I can't wait to see that later. And then when it went, I was always in control. I was like, oh, I was like,
Riley.
Yeah.
So all right, cool.
It was fun.
All right, no rating change. Everyone's staying where they're at.
Yeah.
I would say. I mean, as much as I
If
hated
anything,
the
it's
ending,
lower. No,
I would
I'm
say
fine
it's
with my
still an
6
8. Yeah, I'm still fine with my 8. Like, it's still as a film. Like, I was like, it's beautifully shot, greatly choreographed. There's some amazing scenes that fuck, man. I love watching the behind the scenes on like a lot of these scenes. So I guess it'll still stay an 8.
So yeah, we'll keep it there then. All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Do you guys want to end on a fun little challenge?
Yeah, I'm down. I'll crush
I'm
you
not
guys.
downing a fucking boss
Come on,
one.
do
No,
it.
dude.
Where
I'll
this
crush you
this
guys.
is
Oh,
the
dude.
Sky Riley challenge.
Jesus
Take a
Christ.
bottle.
You gotta do it next to the mic. Fucking ASMR, bro.
We'll put it
I'll
in
move
post.
the pop filter. I've been holding it this whole episode.
Go. It's you, because I already finished mine.
He already drank-
There's 2 more.
Go back to the
Oh,
editing.
dude.
Go back to editing.
You're
He's
gonna-
already done this once.
Yeah, I've already did it. I did it for funsies. Here.
No
Nobody
way.
else gonna do it with me?
No,
No.
not
No?
it. No.
All right,
All
whatever.
right. Let's see how long it takes you.
Let's see how many he can do
All right,
actually.
Ready?
Probably. I probably could do all 3, but I would say probably like 5 seconds. Don't make me laugh. though.
Put the mic next to you. Put the mic next to your.
No, people don't need to hear.
Come on,
me.
ASMR. Go.
I already have a very wet mouth, so
Go. Oh my god. What the fuck? No way, bro. No way.
that's how I drink water normally.
Yeah.
Will you fucking drink like a fucking moose? Like, what do you?
add another.
Yeah.
Stay
sound effect.
hydrated. I feel bad because it's like $10 a drink.
Hey, hold on. Send me one. I'm gonna take one
Yeah,
away.
it's
Go
fine,
ahead. Come on. What the fuck?
Yeah, save it. Oh, there's another one
What the
right
fuck you drink it, doll,
there.
dude?
I'm still working on
It's so
mine.
expensive.
No, right after the movie ended, I got my biggest glass, and I was just like, she made me thirsty.
Yeah.
Did the exact same thing, just with a bigger cup.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
All right, it was fun.
That was fun. Final thoughts. I mean, overall, we didn't change our mind. Some of this stuff was cool.
I was super excited to see it. I'm glad I did see it. but I still like the first one far superior.
Yeah.
Like I would say maybe almost like I don't know. Like I forgot what did I give Smile? You just recently?
I think like a 7.5. I think it was.
Oh no, I feel like that's like 8.5.
Yeah,
now.
no. I think it's a 7.5.
Oh, last question, just out of nowhere. What did you think? So how do you feel now that we might get a I don't want to peek the mic. How do you feel now that we might get we're gonna get a sequel to It Follows? Are you like kind of like
nervous and shit?
I was already nervous.
I
About
think It Follows is such a good film, and like I say, a lot of things don't need sequels.
Yeah.
And that was definitely one that didn't need a sequel. The way I feel like this first Smile didn't need a sequel.
That's
So I'm worried that they're gonna go the same route where they're gonna either overly explain it.
Yep.
Or they're gonna have to start from scratch again.
Everybody has STD demons.
STD.
Yeah, I know.
It's like this.
Like don't drink the water. Like wait, did he sit on the toilet? Don't sit on the toilet.
wait, did he wash his hands?
He has a bloody nose. No.
He got demon herpes.
You just give me a reminder of that episode where you're like,
Shit.
yeah, technically oral counts too. So it's like no.
Yeah.
And also contraceptives also counted.
Yeah.
No. You're gonna get a demon.
All right, guys. All right.
I kind of want to revisit Oculus.
Oculus would be fun
because of
That's
all
cool.
the mind freak stuff we've already experienced.
Yeah.
Like we already watched Mirrors whenever that episode
That's
comes
true.
out. So if we want to watch
Pretty
a good movie about
Pretty soon.
Mirrors,
Yeah, pretty soon.
Yeah.
then
What about you? What do you want to revisit soon?
nothing comes to mind. Like before we record, I'm like, oh, we could do this, we could do that.
Mm.
Like I'm brainstorming. Then we finish the episode. I'm just like, man, I wish I would watch a better movie today.
That's why you guys pitch them.
Yeah,
I know,
I'll think of something.
Because I thought you were gonna love Overlord.
I did like Overlord.
No, love it. I
No,
thought
I
you were
didn't
gonna
love it.
love Overlord. I thought you were gonna be right here with me.
I liked it in
Nazi
theaters.
Captain
Hated it.
Avengers.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, they got U.S. Agent. That's crazy.
I thought you were gonna be right there with me with that one. But yeah. All right.
Oh,
Yeah. So
well,
thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Feel free to follow us on our social medias. We have Midnight Mayhem podcast on Instagram.
Horror Podcast 2 on X, Midnight Mayhem Podcast on TikTok, and our Facebook, Bobby.
You still running that?
I have. I was like,
We still got 1 million on that one.
Easy meal.
Easy meal.
Monopoly money.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the
And
next
we'll
one.
see you guys in the next one. Bye.
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 Love you.